Discovery of the Leviathan Captain Kex-9 floated in the zero-gravity command center of his salvage vessel. All four of his crystalline eyes focused on the sensor display that had just changed everything. The Zephyrian's natural ability to see in multiple spectrums made him one of the best salvage captains in the Outer Rim, but what he was looking at now defied all his experience. "Dr. Thorne, you need to see this," Kex-9 called out, his voice carrying the harmonic undertones that made Zephyrian's speech so distinctive. The ship's xenorchaeologist, a tall Alterian with pale blue skin and silver hair, glided over from her research station. "What is it, Captain?" Dr. Lyra Thorne asked, her large violet eyes studying the readouts. As a specialist in extinct civilizations, she had learned to recognize the signatures of dead worlds and abandoned technology. But this reading was different. Energy signature like nothing in our databases, Kex-9 explained, manipulating the holographic display with his forearms. "It's massive, at least 5 kilometers long, maybe more. But here's the strange part. It's been sitting in this dead system for centuries, yet it's still generating power." Engineer Voss, a mechanoid whose body was part organic and part machine, connected directly to the ship's systems through neural interfaces that sparkled with blue light. "Captain, I'm running the signature through every known database. The energy pattern is ... unique. It doesn't match any current galactic civilization. Navigator Sera, an aquatic delphini, whose tank allowed her to work alongside air breathing. Species spoke through her translation device. The stellar cartography suggests this system has been dead for over 300 years. No inhabitable worlds, no resources worth mining. Whatever that object is, it has no reason to be here." Kex-9 felt the familiar excitement that came with discovering something truly unknown. In 30 years of salvage work, he had found everything from ancient precursor artifacts to lost colony ships. But this felt different. This felt important. "Set course for the object," he ordered, "but keep us at long range until we know what we're dealing with." As their ship, the Wandering Star, approached the mysterious object, more details became clear on their sensors. The thing was enormous, 5.5 kilometers of dark metal that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Its design was unlike anything in the galactic databases, with sleek lines that suggested both beauty and terrible purpose. "It's a warship," Dr. Thorne said quietly, studying the tactical analysis. "Look at those weapon ports along the hull. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands." "What species builds ships this large?" Voss asked, his mechanical components worry as he processed the data. Even the old Imperial fleet never constructed anything over 2 kilometers. Kex-9 adjusted the sensors for maximum resolution. As the image cleared, they could see symbols etched into the hull near what appeared to be the ship's bow. The translation computers worked for several minutes before producing results. "EHS Eternal Vigil," Sarah read from her station. "United. Human systems. But that's impossible. Humans disappeared from this region of space 3 centuries ago." Dr. Thorne's expertise in extinct civilizations made her the natural expert on humanity's mysterious departure. "The humans didn't just disappear," she explained. "According to historical records, they simply ... left. Entire colonies abandoned. Overnight, their ships vanished from space lanes. No one knows where they went or why." "Maybe they didn't all leave," Kex-9 suggested. "Maybe some stayed behind." The Eternal Vigil hung in space like a sleeping giant. As they drew closer, they could see that despite its age, the ship appeared to be in perfect condition. No damage to the hull, no signs of battle or decay. It looked like it could power up and fly away at any moment. Captain Voss announced, "I'm detecting very faint life support readings from inside the ship. Whatever's in there, it's still maintaining minimal atmosphere and temperature." "Automated systems," Dr. Thorne suggested. "Humans were known for their advanced artificial intelligence." Kex-9 made his decision. "Prepare a boarding team. Full environmental suits, scanning equipment, and emergency beacons. If humans left this ship behind, there might be technology inside that could revolutionize galactic civilization." The boarding team consisted of all 4 crew members. As they crossed from their ship to the human vessel through a flexible docking tube, each of them felt the weight of history. They were about to be the first beings to set foot on a human ship in 300 years. The airlock they approached was massive, designed for beings larger than most galactic species. When Voss interfaced with the locking mechanism, it responded immediately, cycling open with smooth efficiency that suggested regular maintenance. "The ship's computer is still active," he reported as they entered the outer chamber. "It's providing atmosphere and adjusting gravity to match our physiology. It knows we're here," Sierra observed, her suit's sensors detecting the environmental changes. They stepped into the ship proper and found themselves in a corridor that seemed to stretch forever in both directions. The walls were made of some kind of adaptive metal that provided soft, even lighting. Everything was clean, functional, and impossibly well maintained. "This doesn't look like a ship that's been abandoned for 3 centuries, Dr. Thorne said, running her scanner along the walls. "These materials are in perfect condition." As they explored deeper into the ship, they found evidence of human presence everywhere. Crew quarters designed for beings nearly 2 meters tall, dining areas that could accommodate hundreds of people, and recreational spaces that spoke of a long-term mission requiring high morale. But there were no bodies, no personal effects, no signs that the crew had left in a hurry or met with disaster. It was as if one day the humans had simply decided to become invisible. Captain Voss called from a side corridor, "You need to see this." They found him standing before a massive blast door marked with symbols that translated as command center. Authorized personnel only. The door was sealed, but as they approached, it began to open on its own. "The ship is letting us in," Kex-9 realized. "It wants us to see something." The command center was breathtaking. A spherical room 3 stories tall, with control stations arranged in tiers around a central platform. Holographic displays showed star charts, ship status reports, and data. Streams in languages the translation computers struggled to interpret. And sitting in the command chair was a human. The figure was translucent, like a projection made of light and memory. It was a woman in what appeared to be a military uniform, with short dark hair and eyes that seemed to look directly at each member of the boarding team. "Welcome aboard the Eternal Vigil," the figure said in perfect galactic standard. "I am Admiral Elena Bascus, commanding officer of this vessel. You are the first visitors we have received in 317 years. Kex-9 found his voice first. "You're human. But humans disappeared centuries ago." "We didn't disappear," Admiral Vasquez replied. "We evolved. What you see before you is my consciousness, uploaded into the ship's quantum matrix before my biological form expired. I am the guardian of this vessel and its mission." Dr. Thorne stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overcoming her shock. What mission? Why was this ship left here? The Admiral stood, and as she did, the command center around them came fully to life. Displays showed star charts spanning the entire galaxy, with various markers and indicators that meant nothing to the alien visitors. 300 years ago, humanity detected something approaching from beyond our galaxy, Admiral Vasquez explained. Something that consumed entire star systems as it traveled. Our scientists calculated that it would reach inhabited space within 4 to 5 centuries. The void swarm, Sarah whispered, her translation device conveying her horror. You know of it? The Admiral asked, surprised. Legends, Dr. Thorne replied. Ancient stories from the rim worlds about darkness that devours stars. Most scholars considered them mythology. They are not myths, Admiral Vasquez said grimly. Humanity spent 50 years developing a response to this threat. We created a network of guardian ships, placed throughout the galaxy at strategic points. Each ship contains the uploaded consciousness of an entire crew, along with technology designed specifically to combat extragalactic threats. Voss's mechanical components sparked with excitement. You've been waiting here for 3 centuries, preparing for something that hasn't arrived yet. Time means little to us now, the Admiral replied. We are patient, we are ready, and thanks to your arrival, we can finally begin the activation sequence. What activation sequence? Kex-9 asked, though he was beginning to suspect the answer would change everything. Admiral Vasquez smiled, and for a moment she looked completely human despite her translucent form. The awakening of the human fleet. You see, the Eternal Vigil is not alone. There are 57 ships like this one, hidden throughout the galaxy. Each one has been waiting for the right moment, the right catalyst, and we're the catalyst. Dr. Thorne asked. Your species represent the new galactic civilization that grew up after humanity's departure. You are what we swore to protect. Your presence here confirms that inhabited space has developed enough to be worth defending. The command center began to pulse with energy. Alert signals sounded, and new displays activated, showing real-time data from across the galaxy. Admiral Voss said, his mechanical sensors detecting massive energy buildups. What exactly are you? Activating the greatest fleet ever assembled, she replied. 57 dreadnoughts, each one capable of destroying a dozen conventional battleships, hidden in asteroid fields, nebulae, and dead systems throughout the galaxy. They have been waiting for the signal to awaken. Signal for what? Kex-9 demanded. Admiral Vasquez turned to face them, and her expression was grave. The void swarm has finally arrived. Our long-range sensors detected the first scout elements 3 days ago. They are still months away from populated systems, but the time for waiting is over. Through the command centers, transparent walls, they could see space itself beginning to change. Pinpricks of light were appearing in the distance, other ships powering up after centuries of dormancy. We didn't just accidentally find your ship, did we? Dr. Thorne asked. Nothing about this was accidental, Admiral Vasquez confirmed. The Eternal Vigil has been sending out subtle signals for the past decade, drawing salvage crews and explorers to this system. You were the first to actually board the ship and meet the requirements for activation. What requirements? Sira asked. Multi-species, cooperation, peaceful intentions, and the curiosity to seek out the unknown rather than destroy it. Your crew represents everything humanity hoped the galaxy would become after our departure. Kex-9 felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. What do you need from us? Help us contact the other species. Help us coordinate a defense of all inhabited worlds. Help us show the galaxy that humanity's sacrifice was not in vain. As Admiral Vasquez spoke, more lights appeared in space around them. The human fleet was awakening after 3 centuries of sleep, and the galaxy was about to discover that humanity had never truly left. They had simply been waiting for the moment when they would be needed most. The Guardian's purpose. Vasquez gestured to the holographic displays surrounding them, and the command center filled with images that made the alien boarding team's breath catch in their throats. Star charts showed the edge of the galaxy, where something vast and dark was moving between the spaces where stars should be. The Void Swarm is not a single entity, the Admiral explained, her translucent form becoming more solid as the ship's systems fully activated. It is a collective consciousness made up of billions of organic ships, each one capable of stripping a planet of all life in a matter of hours. Dr. Thorne studied the tactical displays with growing horror. How large is this swarm? Our estimates suggest over 10 million individual organisms, ranging in size from fighter craft to vessels larger than this dreadnought. They have consumed at least 14 galaxies during their journey to ours. Voss's mechanical components whirred as he processed the implications. No single species could stand against something like that, which is exactly why humanity made the choice we did, Admiral Vasquez replied. We realized that conventional biological civilization could not survive contact with the Void Swarm, so we chose to become something else. The command center's displays shifted to show the process of human transcendence. Medical facilities where human consciousness was extracted and uploaded into quantum storage matrices. Engineering bays where biological needs were replaced with technological solutions. The images were beautiful and terrible at the same time. Your entire species uploaded themselves into ships, Kex-9 asked, struggling to comprehend such a massive undertaking. Not all of us, the Admiral clarified. Many chose to leave the galaxy, entirely seeking new homes among distant star clusters. Others chose to remain biological and establish hidden colonies in regions the Void Swarm was unlikely to find. But enough of us chose transcendence to create the Guardian fleet. Navigator Sira's aquatic form rippled with distress within her containment suit. The legends speak of humanity's great sacrifice. We thought they referred to your disappearance from known space. The sacrifice was much greater than that, Admiral Vasquez said solemnly. We gave up our physical forms, our natural lifespans, our ability to grow and change in biological ways. We became eternal guardians, waiting centuries for a threat that might never come. But it did come, Dr. Thorne observed. Yes, and now our patience is rewarded with purpose. The Admiral moved to the Central Command platform, and, as she did, dozens of other translucent figures began to appear throughout the command center. The uploaded consciousness of the Eternal Vigil's entire crew, each one taking their station as if they had just stepped away for a moment rather than existing as digital ghosts for 3 centuries. Commander Martinez, status report, Admiral Vasquez ordered. A tall figure with graying hair materialized at the tactical station. All Guardian ships are responding to the activation signal. We have 49 dreadnoughts coming online, with the remaining 8 scheduled to activate within the next 6 hours. What about the support network? Automated manufacturing stations are beginning production of additional vessels. Orbital weapon platforms hidden throughout inhabited systems are powering up. The defensive grid that humanity spent 50 years building is finally coming online. Kex-9 watched in amazement as the ghostly human crew worked with perfect efficiency, coordinating a military operation that spanned the entire galaxy. How many ships are we talking about? The Guardian fleet consists of 57 dreadnoughts like this one, Admiral Vasquez explained. but the full defensive network includes over 3,000 automated vessels, 1,500 orbital defense platforms, and manufacturing capacity to produce additional ships as needed. Manufacturing capacity, Voss asked, his engineering background making him focus on the practical aspects. Commander Martinez answered from his station. Humanity seeded the galaxy with automated shipyards, hidden in asteroid belts and dead systems. Each one is capable of producing a destroyer-class vessel every 72 hours, using materials harvested from local asteroids and comets. Dr. Thorne's archaeological training helped her understand the scope of what she was hearing. You've been preparing for this war for 300 years. Every day of those 300 years, Admiral Vasquez confirmed. While your species built civilizations and established trade routes, we watched and prepared. We studied the void swarm's behavior patterns, developed weapons specifically designed to combat their biological technology, and positioned our forces at optimal defensive points. The command center's main display showed a real-time map of the galaxy, with thousands of blue dots representing human defensive positions and red markers showing the approaching void swarm's projected path. They're heading for the galactic core, Sarah observed, studying the tactical projections. The region with the highest concentration of inhabited worlds, the Admiral agreed. The void swarm is attracted to life energy. They will naturally move toward the areas with the most biological activity, which gives us an advantage, Commander Martinez added. We know where they're going, and we've had centuries to prepare defenses along their route. Kex-9 felt a mixture of awe and terror as he contemplated the scale of the coming conflict. What do you need from the current galactic civilizations? Coordination, Admiral Vasquez replied immediately. The Guardian fleet can delay the void, swarm and inflict significant casualties, but we cannot destroy them entirely on our own. We need the combined fleets of every species working together. And information, Commander Martinez added. Our intelligence network has been focused on the approaching threat. We know less about current galactic military capabilities than we should. Dr. Thorne stepped forward. I can help with that. My research has given me extensive knowledge of current military technologies and fleet compositions. Excellent. What about political situations? Who are the major powers? Who can be trusted to coordinate rather than compete? The next several hours were spent in intensive briefing sessions. The alien visitors shared everything they knew about current galactic civilization, while the human command crew explained their defensive strategy and the capabilities of their hidden fleet. It was during these discussions that alarms began sounding. Throughout the command center, Admiral called out a figure at the sensor station. Long-range scouts are detecting void swarm advance elements, 3 months ahead of projected schedule. How many? Admiral Vasquez asked, her form becoming completely solid as the ship's combat systems activated. Initial count suggests approximately 50,000 individual organisms. They're moving through the Kepler Nebula, heading directly for the Altarian home system. Dr. Thorne's pale blue skin went even paler. That's my homeworld. 4 billion. People, not anymore, the Admiral said firmly. Commander Martinez, signal the fleet. All Guardian ships are to implement Battle Protocol Alpha. We're moving to full combat readiness. What about evacuation? Kex-9 asked. Can we warn the Altarian government? Warning them will cause panic and interfere with evacuation efforts. Admiral Vasquez explained. Instead, we're going to demonstrate why humanity chose to become Guardians. The Eternal Vigil began to move for the first time in 3 centuries. Its massive engines created a distortion in space itself as the dreadnought accelerated toward the Kepler Nebula. Around them, 48 other Guardian ships were doing the same thing, converging on the Void Swarm's advance force. "You're going to fight them directly?" Sierra asked. "We're going to show them what happens when they threaten our protected species." Commander Martinez replied from his station. The journey to the interception point took 18 hours at maximum speed. During that time, the human crew worked with mechanical precision to prepare for humanity's first battle against the Void Swarm. Weapons systems that had been dormant for centuries came online. Defensive screens activated. Battle protocols that had existed only in theory were implemented for the first time, and throughout it all, Admiral Vasquez worked with the alien visitors to establish communication with every major government in the galaxy. "This is Admiral Alina Vasquez of the United Human Systems Guardian Fleet," she announced in a message that was broadcast simultaneously to every inhabited world. 300 years ago, humanity detected an existential threat approaching our galaxy. We chose to transform ourselves into eternal guardians, waiting for the moment when that threat would arrive. That moment is now. The message continued with tactical information, defensive recommendations, and coordination protocols. But the most important part was the promise that came at the end. To every species that calls this galaxy home, you are not alone. Humanity's Guardians stand ready to defend all life against the darkness that comes from beyond the stars. We ask only that you trust us, coordinate with us, and help us show the Void Swarm that this galaxy will not fall without a fight. When the Guardian fleet reached the edge of the Kepler Nebula, they found the Void Swarm advance force exactly where their projections had predicted. 50,000 organic ships, each one pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that spoke of alien intelligence and hunger. The Guardian ships spread out in a defensive formation that had been perfected through 3 centuries of simulation and planning. The Eternal Vigil took point position, its massive weapons raised, targeting the largest Void Swarm organisms. "All ships report ready," Commander Martinez announced. Admiral Vasquez stood at the center of the command platform, surrounded by the uploaded consciousnesses of humanity's finest military minds. For a moment, she looked back at the alien visitors who had inadvertently triggered this moment. "Thank you," she said simply. "Your curiosity and courage brought you to us at exactly the right moment. Now witness what humanity became in order to protect everything we left behind." The battle that followed lasted 14 hours and became known throughout the galaxy as the Kepler Defense. 57 human dreadnoughts faced off against 50,000 Void Swarm organisms in a conflict that redefined galactic warfare. Human weapons that converted matter directly into energy tore through Void Swarm bioships. Defensive systems that bent space-time itself deflected attacks that would have destroyed conventional vessels. And throughout it all, the uploaded human crews fought with a precision and dedication that no biological crew could match. When the battle ended, the Void Swarm advance force had been completely destroyed. The Guardian fleet had suffered damage but no losses, and more importantly, they had proven that the approaching threat could be fought and defeated. As news of the victory spread throughout the galaxy, something remarkable happened. Species that had been rivals began coordinating their defenses. Trade disputes were set aside in favor of mutual protection agreements. The galaxy began to unite against the common threat, standing in the command center of the Eternal Vigil, watching as allied fleets from dozens of species began joining the human defensive positions. Admiral Vasquez felt something she had not experienced in 3 centuries: hope. The Void Swarm will return in greater numbers, she told her alien guests. The main force is still months away. But when they arrive, they will find a galaxy that stands united and ready. They will find that life itself has guardians who cannot be defeated, cannot be discouraged, and will never stop fighting for the right of all beings to exist in peace. Kex-9 looked out at the assembled fleet, human guardians and alien defenders, working together, and realized that they had indeed unleashed something by boarding the Eternal Vigil. Not hell, as their original mission had feared, but hope. The hope that even the greatest darkness could be faced when beings of different species chose to stand together. The war for the galaxy's survival was just beginning. But thanks to humanity's 3-century vigil and the courage of those willing to seek out the unknown, it was a war that could be won. Asterisk.